Each member is acknowledging that they are attending the meeting via Zoom and that they are located in Wayne County, Michigan, unless otherwise stated when I call your name. Commissioner Scott,
Present.
Commissioner Baker McCormick is joining.
Okay.
Commissioner Baker McCormick,
Here.
Commissioner Marecki,
Here.
Commissioner Kinlock,
Present.
Commissioner Anderson.
Here.
Vice Chair Baidu has requested to be excused. Chair Varga.
Here.
You have a quorum present.
Thank you. Next item.
Item B, Chairwoman's remarks.
Under such other matters, I am going to bring something forward. So if you would all please stay around for the discussion. Next item.
Item C, approval of the minutes of the May 11, 2021 meeting.
So moved.
It's been
Scott.
moved.
Support Marecki.
Supported. Any corrections? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Motion carries. Next item.
We're moving to item E1 of new business, communication forwarding the preliminary state equalization report for the 2021 tax year.
Okay. Do we have Scott here?
Yes, ma'am.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Yeah, the state equalization report is in essential terms, is the report from the C-Tax Commission putting its stamp of approval on the work that the County Commission did on April 22nd, approving county equalization. It's the state doing the same portion at its level to approve the same process. If you'll note in the report, there are a number of pages with all zeros. And what the all zeros mean is that they accepted the County Commission's work in its totality without any additions or subtractions. And essentially they blessed the findings from the County Commission and approved things intact without any changes.
Good job.
It's a County Commission that did the good job.
No, you. You did a great job. Thank you. Made us look good. Alrighty. Could I have, this is a receive and file.
Yes.
So moved.
It's
Ford
been
Anderson.
and supported. Any further discussion? Well, go ahead and call the roll, please.
Commissioner Scott,
Yes.
Commissioner Baker McCormick, Commissioner Baker McCormick,
Yes.
Commissioner Marecki,
Yes.
Commissioner Kinlock,
Yes.
Commissioner Anderson,
Yes.
Chair Varga.
Yes.
Motion carries. Moving to item E2, requesting commission approval of a resolution to levy Wayne County's operating millage rate upon the 2021 summer tax rolls.
Okay. Do we have anyone here from the treasurer's office?
Ma'am, that would actually be something that that I would have also worked on.
Yes.
So that is the annual levy of the county's operating millage. This is the charter operating millage that was authorized by the charter in 1981. So this is for general operating purposes that would fund general purposes. It doesn't have a specific restriction on its use or a specific finite term. So this is the summer tax levy, and everything else other than this is levied on the winter tax bills. So it's required under statute to approve a resolution to levy on the summer tax roll, which is an annual process. The rate has been the same rate for quite a number of years. This year, the rate is a little bit lower than it was previously because of a heavy rollback. And so the rate is incrementally less than it was last year, but the rate is being levied at its maximum permissible rate.
Move approval.
It's been moved,
Support Marecki.
supported. Scott, last year, the citizens of Detroit were overcharged. And Do you know if that was rectified?
That process, we will not have the rate from the city of Detroit until a little bit later on when they report the tax rates to the county commission. That would be on their July 1st tax roll.
Okay.
So we've just reported the millage reduction fractions to the taxing entities very, very recently. And then they would use that to roll back their tax rates. And they would, in that case, they would actually be rolling their rate back more than what it would be just for the current year. They would take it back a little bit more than that even to compensate for the over levy from last year. But we would know what the city's requested rate would be probably in the next, I'd say 2 to 3 weeks or so.
Great.
Madam Chair?
I know you're watching that, Commissioner Kinlock.
Yes. Okay, so the city of Detroit, they had overtaxed its residents for a number of years. Is this remedy or rectification or them rectifying the issue? Is this speaking to just last year or the several years that have been called into question?
There are a couple of separate issues, and they pertain to taxes and assessments, so it's all kind of in the same arena. This particular matter pertains to it's actually Detroit Public Schools for the city's operating millage, or actually for the school district of the city of Detroit, technically speaking is the name of it, for the school district's operating millage was slightly over levied last year because it was not reduced by the heavy rollback amount. So this doesn't have to do with what I think we've previously talked about.
Right, correct.
Right, about the alleged over assessments and tax foreclosures and things that were triggered through that whole process that we've talked about, the things that have been in the media, that does not have anything to do with that. So it's a tax related issue, but it's not that specific issue.
Okay, I understand. So just dealing with the school districts millage.
Correct. And that's constrained to just the 1 year for the 2020 levy only.
Okay, thank you for the clarification.
Sure, you're welcome.
Thank you. Anyone else? Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Scott,
Yes.
Commissioner Baker McCormick,
Yes.
Commissioner Marecki,
Yes.
Commissioner Kinlock,
Yes.
Commissioner Anderson,
Yes.
Chair Varga.
Yes,
Motion carries.
thank you. Next item.
Item E3, requesting commission approval of budget adjustment 2021-35-146, reallocating expenditures in the property forfeiture fund.
Okay, discussion.
Move approval, Anderson.
Thank you. Supported by,
I'll support it, Marecki.
okay. Please call the roll.
Commissioner Scott,
Yes.
Commissioner Baker McCormick,
Yes.
Commissioner Marecki,
Yes.
Commissioner Kinlock,
Yes.
Commissioner Anderson,
Yes.
Chair Varga.
Yes,
Motion carries.
thank you. Next item.
Moving to item E4, requesting commission approval of budget adjustment 2021-35-148, reallocating expenditures in the general fund.
Thank you. Discussion.
Move approval, Anderson.
Been moved and supported by Martha G. Scott. All in favor, or actually, please call the roll.
Commissioner Scott,
Yes.
Commissioner Baker McCormick,
Yes.
Commissioner Marecki,
Yes.
Commissioner
Yes.
Kinlock,
Yes.
Commissioner Anderson,
Yes.
Chair Varga.
Yes,
Motion carries. Moving to item E5, requesting commission approval of budget adjustment 2021-35-149, reallocating expenditures in the law enforcement fund.
Move approval, Commissioner Kinlock.
moved, supported.
Support, Anderson.
Great. Any discussion? Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Scott,
Yes.
Commissioner Baker McCormick,
Yes.
Commissioner Marecki,
Yes.
Commissioner Kinlock,
Yes.
Commissioner Anderson,
Yes.
Chair Varga,
Yes.
motion carries. Moving to item E6, requesting commission approval of budget adjustment 2021-35, 151, reallocating expenditures in the Juvenile Justice Abuse Neglect Fund.
Discussion.
Since this is only a whopping $200, I move approval.
Support.
Been moved and supported. Please call the roll.
Commissioner Scott,
Yes.
Commissioner Baker McCormick,
Yes.
Commissioner Marecki,
Yes.
Commissioner Kinlock,
Yes.
Commissioner Anderson,
Yes,
Chair Varga,
Yes.
motion carries.
almost. Doing a county.
Next item, item F, such other matters as may be properly submitted before the committee.
Okay, thank you. I have an item. I received a call yesterday from Commissioner Basham, and Commissioner Kinlock was also on the line with us, Port Authority and the Sheriff's Department. And the issue at hand is a grant that the Port Authority and the Sheriff's Department want to apply for with the federal government. They need some assistance with details as to the content of what they're going to be getting or what they're applying for. And currently, we have a contract with Wade Trim, who has all the information that this grant would need or would contain, that that they actually in need of. And so we were asked, or I was asked, what we could do to perhaps allow Wade Trim to have an amended contract to put this as a scope of service for them to write the grant, since they have all the information needed that the federal government is asking for the grant. And so I did volunteer. It was Commissioner Basham's birthday yesterday. I wanted to make his day. So I did say that I would bring it up for discussion today. And I called Mark Abbo and also asked him to pass it through to the CFO. And then I probably need more than that, Felicia, to let me know or let us know how we could go about doing such a thing to make it happen. If we're all on the same page and want to make this happen.
I mean, this, Madam Chair, this is Huey Newsome, the county CFO. If this is something, I mean, obviously, such a contract, assuming it goes above threshold, which I can't say whether or not it does or not, it would come before you anyway. So what I could do is work with staff to make sure that the process goes through the normal procurement process, requisition, RFP if necessary. Aaron Wagner, I don't know if Aaron Wagner's on the call. I'm good, but he's great when it comes to the procurement ordinance. But we go through the normal requisitioning process and go through procurement process, have recommendation along that front, and then eventually we'll come to you for formal contract approval. So I can work with staff at least to get the ball rolling on that, and report back to you once we get a requisition in the system, if you want to do it that way.
Thank you. I guess the issue is that this is a limited window of opening for this grant. And what could we do, or is there anything that we could do with the procurement ordinance that could speed up allowing this to be done. Felicia, maybe?
Through the chair to this honorable body, I would need more information. If this is the matter of applying for a grant, it's not clear to me that there are procurement ordinance requirements or issues. However, if we're selecting Wade Trim to partner with, then we do need to have some discussion regarding how they're going to be selected or why. So I really just need more information about exactly what we're doing, what we're attempting to do or like to do. And then we could sort of go from that point, because again, a grant, applying for a grant is not necessarily a procurement ordinance issue. But again, since we have a vendor in mind for that, we do need to have that discussion to make sure that that selection is proper. So if someone can just pass along additional information, we will look at it and get back to you as soon as possible.
Sure, that would be great. Commissioner Kinlock, maybe you can shed a little more light on it real quick.
Yes, this is for the, as you know, we just recently, I think a few weeks ago, approved the construction of and repairs to the dock where the Sheriff Marine operations is located down in Trenton. And so we're doing the repairs and the restoration as it relates to the seawall and the dock down there. The administration building, which is basically in a double wide structure, they're looking to have that replaced, because when you go out there, it's just ridiculous that and unfortunate that they're working in that type of under those type of conditions. So what Commissioner Basham and conversations with the Sheriff's Department are looking at is possibly, and the Port Authority working alongside with them, of submitting a request for earmark, as well as a couple other opportunities where we could partner with them on and assist them in applying for these funds. But of course, you need some renderings. You need some renderings and specific drawings that's necessary to be attached to any such effort. So the thought was that you have Wade Trim that's doing the work already down there. They have an existing contract with the Parks Department. If we could and they're doing the work in the general scope of what we're looking to expand upon, that modifying, if we can get a modification to that current agreement to include them preparing for the Parks and Recreations Department, the renderings that can go along with any sort of application for additional funding for this new structure.
Madam Chair?
Yes.
So based on that information, if indeed, and I don't know how the original Wade Trim contract was procured with regards to the current project, and whether or not it was bid out, or if it would be appropriate to simply add additional scope. So we would need to review the existing contract to make sure that that would be an appropriate amendment. If it is an appropriate amendment, then you wouldn't have a procurement issue concern. If it's not an appropriate amendment, then yes, you would need some type of procurement process in order to contract with the vendor to do those renderings. And then obviously there may be some additional costs associated with that. So then that discussion has to also occur to make sure that the compensation for those renderings is also included in whatever document.
Thank you. Mr. Newsom, okay. Oh, we have Mr. Higgins.
Oh, it's Ray Basham.
Oh,
Okay.
Basham.
I got
Hey,
Aiden's computer. I didn't know Commissioner Higgins was, okay. I'm sorry, I'm using Commissioner Higgins' computer. Mine died. I appreciate it. First of all, I appreciate the visit that Commissioner Kinlock came down river and seen firsthand. For example, last weekend, this is almost an emergency. Last weekend, the Marine Patrol were pulling bodies out of the Detroit River. And the facility that they use for their equipment and the dock that they use for their equipment is appalling. Now, I applaud Commissioner Varga and her efforts and other commissioners to work with us and get us the funding for the dock. But and through that selective process, wage trim was approved. But we had discussions yesterday with Commissioner Kinlock and the Port Authority and others in the Marine Patrol Sheriff's Office about do we go out traditionally to build another building, bricks and mortar, and the thought process was from the Marine Patrol, it would take too long. What would they work out of? They can't just move to another building because they have to have their dive gear close to the boat to jump in the boat to go pick up bodies out of the river. And they got a big area that they cover. So they have to be close to their boats, which is in the water. And so the Port Authority under federal grants, they're trying to secure some federal money for some stuff that they're doing up at their location, but wanted to partner with the Marine Patrol and see if they can work with the commission and try to find a grant that would help them to secure we currently have a double wide trailer with dead animals living under it. I mean, not living under it, dying under it and smelling. But and the roof is bad, the siding is bad, the interior is bad. And so they want to actually take that out and actually take that out and then put a triple wide in there. Now, one of the vendors and correct me if I'm wrong, because I think they're on the agenda here. I mean, they're listening, but Marine Patrol, they went out on their own and tried to get a price for what it would cost for a triple wide, and the vendor responded to them, and a vendor gave them a price, and it basically the price for the triple wide was $189,790. That's what it cost for the triple wide. But the problem is you have to have it sitting on a foundation, and it's got to be, obviously you can't just have a back alley kind of foundation. So you need minimal engineering to make sure that it's hooked up properly with the gas and the electric and those sorts of things. And basically that's what we're trying to do, is to try to have a current engineering firm just say, okay, you have to have, this is the kind of footing, how wide, how deep, this is where your electrical goes, this is where your gas goes, and basically that. And then try to, through the funding mechanism, get a grant to pay for a triple wide trailer. And it's quicker, and they spend less time, out of service, or actually alternative service on the water. So if that makes sense, I'll shut up.
And then also, Madam Chair,
Yes.
it is the intent, because I just encourage any of the commissioners and whomever to just go and take a look at that facility and then clearly understand the work that they do down there that we all sort of don't want to ever think about. We're going to seek to get a grant. We have some time, there's earmarks that are now being resurrected. I know that we have some port security grants and some things that we're securing to do some of the things that we're doing at the Port Authority. But Madam Chair, these renderings are absolutely necessary because regardless of identifying a grant, during the appropriation process, I absolutely intend on joining with Commissioner Basham in trying to really find, and you especially, Madam Chair, because you were very helpful in navigating this for us, and seeing if we can even find appropriations for this. But at minimum, we need to know what the cost would be for a new structure for these officers to work out of. So I hope with the great minds coming together in our council's office and with our finance people, along with the CFO, that we can find a way to get a modification to the wage trim contract, because that's the quickest way to bring about these designs and renderings that would be necessary in any instance to discuss replacing that facility.
Okay, well, all I did was facilitate and bring it up, and great minds will work on it from here on in. So basically what we're looking for, and then I'll call on Mark Abel. Basically what we're looking for is just the dollars to allocate to hopefully the person who's already working on the docks currently, and have the specific information that and then also they would write the whole grant. So we need the money for the grant, but they're not asking for funding for this from us. They're asking for the funding of the building itself from the federal government. So our portion would be the grant writing, actually.
Yes, right now, at this point, yes, absolutely.
Madam Chair, I have a question.
Um,
That's all right.
If I could call on Mark Abel, and then
Oh,
I'll,
sure. Go ahead.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Oh, I was just, obviously this matter is going to require a lot of cooperation, and we're working with different agencies and, including the Port Authority. But the reason it was brought forward here is because it was indicated that time is of the essence because of a grant opportunity. But I haven't heard the timing associated with deadlines on submitting a grant. Do we know what the deadline is?
I think it's in the next, over the next month, I believe so. Commissioner Basham, do you recall, because we were talking about the senators have asked us to submit earmarks into their offices. And so this is one of the things that we know that we've also, and then also there's conversation as far as the port security option grants that I think that's the most immediate deadline, but I can get those specifics from the port director.
Thank you, Commissioner, because I think it would be, again, if we're all working towards this endeavor and then without realizing what our deadline is, it would be terrible if we
I'll get that momentarily.
We ran out of time.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's why I brought it up immediately, because that's what I thought. If things are moving at the federal level, then we need to get this done quick. Commissioner,
Follow back up with them.
Commissioner Marecki?
Oh, thank you, Madam Chair. I'm just wondering, I haven't heard Ray Washington's name mentioned in any of this. Sheriff Washington, has he been brought into the loop of the desires here?
Is anyone on from the Sheriff Department? Because I thought that Commissioner Basham, you can go ahead.
Yeah, Madam Chair, I think there's somebody from the Sheriff's Department that are here in the meeting.
Okay, who's here from the Sheriff's Department?
Lieutenant Gloucester's here, Commissioner.
Oh, thank you. Go ahead and chime in.
Well, obviously, this has been an ongoing project. We're very, very thankful for what we have. And this is, this is about the staff, obviously, in some of the working conditions. We're thankful for the seawall. We're thankful for the new docks coming. But our next project was the Marine base. And Commissioner Basham has been very, very proactive about it. We've had other commissioners out, and we had Commissioner Kinlack out yesterday, as well as Mark Schrupp from the Port Authority, and showed them around and showed them the need. So I guess we're looking for, we're not the experts in this. Director Watts and Director Bradford have and Elizabeth Eisler has helped us immensely with some of this stuff. So the only thing we could think of being the timeline was, as far as submitting anything for the earmark or the grants, is to go through Wade Trim, because they've done all the aerial surveys. They have everything. Now, I don't know what else would entail as far as projects. We've gone out and gotten quote unquote quotes on a new building, nothing official, but we don't know what we would need anything further. That's why we're asking for the help. And then if we don't qualify, because we've had applied for port security grants in the past for a building, and we've gotten turned down. If we don't get this, I guess we're looking for what's the next step if we don't, if we apply for this earmark or these grants through the Port Authority, if we don't get anything, we're at the end of life. Our building was put up in 1992. It's currently a double wide. It's got T111 siding. The siding itself, if you touch it in some areas, your hands will push right through it. So it's end of life. The county has gotten almost 30 years out of that $14,000 building. I think it cost us. So we're here, we're asking for help, and hopefully we can move forward with another 30, 40-year platform for the county.
Okay, so let me just bring it back to where we started. Let's all agree that it's needed. And then the next step is, Mr. Newsome, could you please check with our procurement person to make sure that we could amend that contract, add the language to it, the scope of service to it?
Yes, Madam Chair, I can do that. I can commit to that. I'd also like to, I will do that within the next 24, 48 hours. I also would like to get, legal staff, legal commission staff, fiscal commission staff, Mark Albo, Felicia, as well, sometime this week to share what I'm learning, kind of figure out a plan of attack. Because not only do we have procurement issues, we also have grant issues, and that needs to be coordinated through administration. So let me get on the phone with him this afternoon, and then set up a call with legal and fiscal staff, and then go from there.
Thank you.
Madam Chair?
Yes.
Thank you. So I have also visited the site, and it is in horrific conditions. So the question I have is whether we secure the grant or not. Is there a way that we can appropriate funds for a new building?
Correct.
Well, let's try to get this done first, and then we'll work on Plan B.
Yeah, Commissioner Baker McCormick. Yeah, we were looking at pretty much along the lines what you're saying. We're trying to secure it through, the discussions we had at the Port Authority meeting about the earmarks and some of the other monies that we have been, that are coming our way. But also, if we can't, we'll deal with that down the road. But we want to at least submit and make the request.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you. One way or another, they do need a new building, so.
Madam Chair?
It would be nice to have it coming from the feds.
Madam Chair, Andrew
Andrew.
was here. Hi, yeah, I appreciate Lieutenant's statements, but I think, in terms of looking at the contract, I think that's something we can look at, talk to Aaron Wagner and with the CFO. But really, if we're talking about anything from the sheriff, we really need to hear from the higher brass and at least their liaisons, I would think, to see which direction they want to go. This is a sheriff's facility, and I haven't heard from them. I don't know if you've heard from them at all. But that doesn't stop us from looking into the existing Wade Trim contract, but I just did want to state that.
Okay, the undersheriff is absolutely, okay, so we'll make sure, Andy, that you hear from everybody that you need to hear from as far as the brass. Yeah,
I do apologize. It's Lieutenant Gloucester. Undersheriff Jafer, he's been a spearhead of this also. When I talked and I sent him the meeting minutes, I know he's a very busy individual. I just tried calling him, but Undersheriff Jafer is fully in the loop on this.
Great.
As far as the direction, I did talk to him about the earmarks and then possibly Plan B, whichever way we go. But I'm going to brief him after we get off this conference. And I apologize. I tried to get a hold of Samaya also yesterday, but she's on vacation. She's on vacation till tomorrow.
Okay, thank you. Mind you, Andy, I just heard about this yesterday, so that's why we're here today. So we try. Okay, so we have the commitment to keep working on this issue and try to get it done as quickly as we can. And I will stay in contact with commissioners who brought it forward, and also with Mark Abel, Felicia, and Mr. Newsome. And let's see how we can get it moving forward to Plan A. And then hopefully we won't need Plan B. So thank you very much. Any other discussion on this item? Alrighty. Commissioner Kinlock, you're all okay?
Yes, thank you. Thank you for your pulling this together at short notice. And like Commissioner Basham said, this is a nice birthday gift for him to, you know, at least start the ball rolling.
Yeah, thank you very much. We appreciate all his hard work. Alrighty, next item, Madam Clerk.
Item G, public comments.
Would you please unmute everyone?
Everyone has been asked to unmute themselves.
Okay. Anyone in the public wishing to comment? Anyone in the public wishing to comment? I hear none. Next item.
Item H, adjournment.
And before I do adjourn, did we give an excuse for commissioners who are not here?
Yes, ma'am, we did.
Thank you. Alrighty, it's been moved by Commissioner Martha G. Scott to adjourn, supported by Commissioner Kinlock. All in favor, say aye.
Hi.
Anyone opposed? That motion carries. We're adjourned. Thank you, everyone.